All right, friends, it's T-Man. We back with a new video. Again on JasonBlaha, our favorite gym slave, lifting slave YouTuber. All right, let's see what Blaha has to say, man. Mind-muscle connection happens by default when training correctly. Okay. Never heard of that. I don't even know what a mind-muscle connection is, but okay, whatever. Let's review this video.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee.
Hey, your morning coffee. Oh, bean toxic soup. All right, baby. What a way to start off your day by toxifying yourself, poisoning yourself with fucking coffee. Attaboy. That's healthy for you, right? Fitness. What is it? Fitness, health and fitness. Yes. Poison yourself in the morning with your nice, beautiful coffee to start off the day so you can further accelerate aging. What else is healthy for us, Blaha?
Sexy while I do it. All right, let's talk a little bit about...
Yes, you're looking decrepitly old and old sexy. I didn't know that old was sexy. Is decay associated with sex, bro? I have no idea.
Yeah, mind-muscle connection. This is a concept that gets thrown out a lot, and I've always kind of disliked it because it sounds so goofy and new agey. And I guess it kind of makes sense because guys like Frank Zane talked about it a lot. But I think the best way to think about it really is when you've looked at it in studies is internal cueing versus external cueing. So what does that mean? Internal cueing means you're focusing on feeling the muscle as you move. External means you're focused on moving the weight as hard as possible. And there's studies on EMG activity with this stuff, but I'm not going to go into all that.
Oh, that's what it is. Feeling the muscle hard. Okay.
The thing is, people misuse and misunderstand it, though. Meaning, a lot of times guys are saying, hey...
We do we?
I am using the mind-muscle connection. They're doing goofball exercises with it, and they think that I'm using the mind-muscle connection, and it'll be weak, small guys, and let's just be honest, who they're just not training that hard.
You're a weak, small guy. You're not training hard. What about it?
Okay, and they're doing goofball exercises with it, and they think that that's going to work.
You're doing goofball exercises. What do you think? What should an exercise be exactly, Blaha? According to you, what should an exercise be? What should it do? What do you want it to do? What do you want to accomplish with an exercise? Gyms are used to get bigger and stronger so that you can go out and do sports. You understand me? That's all it really is for. But you max out those adaptations in the gym very quickly. They don't really last very long. That, again, you'd still have to get adapted to the sport that you were doing. You got a little bit of muscle, maybe you got a bit stronger through muscular strength. You know, that's the main goal, isn't it? Or lifting heavy to move a sofa. I don't know which one you want, but in sports it would be muscularly stronger. And then you need to still eke out an adaptation in that sport.
They're like, well, if I just do this one-arm lat pull down or this concentration curl, and I feel the muscle, it's going to work. Well, why wouldn't you be feeling the muscle? Do you not feel the muscle on your warm-up sets? That's a sign to me that someone maybe doesn't know what they're doing.
What? You feel everything. What are you talking about? It's a physical world. What is there not to feel?
Even your big exercises. I can tell you already that your form and your setup needs work if when you're warming up with the empty bar on a bench press, you don't feel your pecs. Okay? To me, that's a sign that you don't know how to bench press. You have no clue how to perform a bench press. You have no idea.
You have no idea how to bench press. Let me see. Lay down under a bar, grab the bar, both ends, lift, lower, and press. Wow, you don't know how to bench press. Wow, that's really technical. It's really hard to bench press. I can only imagine that the masses out there just can't fucking bench press anything, but they gotta rely on you fucking to teach them, right?
Guys like, of course I do. No, you don't. You think you know how to bench.
I know. We just imagine we know how to bench, but you know everything because you're Coach Blaha.
Same thing with a squat. You're telling me you don't feel your quads as you're warming up on the squat?
It looks to me like you don't know how to do anything because body does the talking, bro, and your body says nothing. It says absolutely zero.
Now, granted, my warm-up with the squat is usually 225 for a double. And then I start adding plates. But I feel my quads on that. Of course you feel it. Why wouldn't you? You feel it on your warm-up sets. But that's not a mind-muscle connection.
Warm-up sets? Fuck, I never do a warm-up set in the gym at all.
Mind-muscle connection is, are you really working the muscle hard?
Do you do warm-up and stretches before you start your labor job at the factory, Blaha?
Which should be one of two things. What is it that we consider to be working hard? You're creating enough mechanical tension to stimulate muscle growth.
Ah. Mechanical tension to stimulate muscle growth. Are you making enough of that? Where's mechanical tension? Muscle damage.
That has its own feeling. High amounts of mechanical tension have a feeling. Okay? Particularly when you're using correct form. Or you're going to feel
Okay.
a burn. And that burn is from accumulating metabolic fatigue.
Oh, metabolic fatigue and lactic acid buildup. He says that burn you're accumulating is metabolic fatigue. Okay, let's see what that is. Let's see what this metabolic fatigue stuff is, really. I think I just posted it. It's weird. I just posted in my community section. I didn't even know about this video. I got some Blaha videos there, too. In my shorts. Let's see here. Metabolic community. Oops. Community. Man. All right. So this fatigue, he says fatigue, right? Well, guess what? How do you trigger sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is achieved through what is known as fatigue training. Isn't that what he just said? If you don't know what sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is, I suggest you look it up. It's artificial muscle growth. It's based on glycogen proteins. It is not based on contractile proteins, bro. Get it, man? Fatigue training is training at the end of intensity, 75% of your 1 RM with reps in the range of 10 to 15 and short rest periods of 45, 90 minutes. Yeah, could be 10, could be 15, could even be 5s. I don't know. What if you're eking out more sets, but you're doing 5 reps, but a lot more sets? A lot more sets than reps. Or what if you're doing more reps than sets? And vice versa. So it's all fatigue. Anything concentric is fatigue. It becomes a sarcoplasmic training. What is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Not beneficial because it does not increase strength. That's why. It's just a bunch of fluid you're moving in there. Like it says here, it tells you what it is. It's adenosine tryptophosphate, ATP, glycogen, creatine phosphate, and water. That's what it is. It's an energy source. It's like a storage unit, like a camel. You're like a camel, storing energy in your muscles. What is myofibrillar hypertrophy? You can't store contractile proteins in there, but you can build them up. During muscle hypertrophy, the rate of muscle contractile protein synthesis, this is myofibrillar now. Muscle contractile protein synthesis is greater than decay, leading to greater numbers in actin myosin. See? Yeah. Resulting in more myofibrillars in each muscle fiber. And the myofibrillars within each muscle fiber split. A fiber split just means, it means damage to the myofibrillar. There was what do you call it? Micro-injury to the fiber, and it splits the fiber. And then it goes more fiber in between there and so forth and so on, whatever. That's all it really means. That's the same thing. Muscle damage, splitting fiber, whatever. I don't know. Anyways, let's go back to this video. So there you go. I just proved it.
Okay. Accumulating metabolic fatigue. You are fatiguing the muscle through repetitions. Significant repetitions.
You are.
Okay.
You're fatiguing. That means that training is sarcoplasmic.
What does that feel like? It should feel like you're tearing the muscle apart. In other words,
Listen to what he says. It should feel like you're tearing the muscle apart. Did it say tearing the muscle apart there? It says sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's not associated with tearing muscles apart. What is tearing a muscle? What does tearing a muscle apart feel like? What do you think that feels like, tearing a muscle apart? Can you feel a muscle tearing apart?
if you are bench pressing pretty hard, like for me, let's say a top set with 315, on every rep, as I'm...
Can you feel glycogen going into your muscle? No, well, you'll associate that with the pump, maybe. You don't really feel it going in there. You don't know what's going on there. You just imagine you do. People are imagining. They have a good imagination. They think they know what's going on.
Coming down, I feel like my pectorals. If you're within 5 reps of failure on any of these sets, you should be feeling this stuff.
Yeah.
If you have control of the weight. If you're using the primary movers.
Okay.
Okay? So on every rep of that bench, when I come down, I feel my chest pulling. And it's almost painful. I'm not saying it is painful, but it's almost painful.
He feels his chest pulling. It's almost painful, but it's protected by repeated butt effect phenomena.
If I'm pulling the bar...
You're adopted, so it's protected.
...correctly, I'm locked in, and that bar comes down. Actually, it's way out of here for me. I feel all...
You feel nothing. You're feeling a stretch on the sarcomeres. So what?
All the way across my chest and all the way to the armpit. I feel a pull that almost hurts. Everything.
Well, because you're weak and you're adapted, and nothing's going on there. You're in type 1 muscle fibers. If you're an ectomorph, again, all you out there, you're an ectomorph, you're type 1. You're not even shooting properly for type 2. That's your problem. That's why you can't grow. It's the type 2s, the ones that grow the most.
Single rep. When I'm doing 315, I feel it from rep 1. Every rep. Okay? And on the way back up, you feel that muscle. Again, the same thing. You feel that heavy tension pulling on the muscle, and it probably is causing...
You feel that heavy tension maybe on a heavier weight, but not on a light weight.
Micro tears and micro traumas. So it probably building...
Oh, micro tears, micro traumas. You think that's happening all the time?
It literally is causing some tearing of the muscle. Same thing on the squat.
It's causing some tear in the muscle. What if it's not causing any tears in the muscle? Then what? Then what do you do if it's not causing it? What do you do then, Blaha? Blaha, if you're not tearing muscles, what are you doing then? What are you doing? What do you do to tear them? How do you know they're tearing exactly?
When I put 405 on the bar on the squat, I feel every single rep on that eccentric. If you feel the quads pulling, you feel it pulling.
Feel the quads pulling on that eccentric, baby.
If that's what you feel, almost feels like the muscle is tearing apart. That would be a mind-muscle connection.
See, mind-muscle connection. You feel it tearing apart. Yeah, you should know what these things are, what you're looking for, really, in the gym when you're going in there, but most people are not. When the drug addicts said that, they didn't know what they were talking about, mind-muscle connection. They just made that shit up.
All right, the same thing when we are doing higher rep work. And I'm not talking about just pumping till fatigue. If you were doing, so let's say you watched the curls I did this last workout, because I went lighter, went really strict, focused on squeezing. I failed between rep 12 and 14 on every set.
Why do you need to squeeze at the top? Nothing's going on at the top. It's all at the bottom. Duh. Even if you did go lighter, so what?
Those last few repetitions before you hit failure have a different feeling. You feel the metabolites accumulating. It should burn, right? You don't feel the muscle just moving or squeezing. You should feel discomfort.
If muscles are getting damaged, you don't feel a burn or a discomfort. What you're feeling is reduced force capacities and range of motion. You're getting weaker through the exercise. You're not even getting fatigued. You're not getting fatigued either. Yeah. I can't explain it to you, but yeah, it's just like that. If you've never experienced it, then you wouldn't know.
I don't want to say pain on any of this stuff, but there should be a distinct discomfort. So that
Feel zero discomfort. There's no discomfort. Nah. Don't feel any of those things. Bullshit. He's lying and making this shit up.
muscle should be burning. And if you were within, again, if you're doing a strict exercise.
He's making this shit up, man. You should feel the burning and all this kind of weird shit. He's making it up because he doesn't know anything. His training is shit. It's the same stuff over again. He's adapted. How the fuck would he know what the fuck that is? If he's adapted, he's not getting any more adaptations. And how the fuck would he know what they feel like? It's full of shit.
And you're doing higher reps, anything over about 8. Usually those last 3 to 5 reps before you reach failure.
Do you think that food that he eats in his basket will exceed that protein breakdown? If protein synthesis, if you're going to see mass on the myofibrillar, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. Do you think that tofu spaghetti and bullshit in his coffee is going to exceed that breakdown? Right there on camera, he should be eating. I'm actually eating all the time. I'm eating pieces of like beef right here. That's what I'm chewing on, beef. Yeah, because I have to keep eating. You have to keep eating if you want to build up something. And even then, it may not be enough. See what I mean? That's why I introduced buffets and stuff, because I could go there and eat for hours. So literally, I can eat. I can literally eat and be in an anabolic growth state. He's never in a growth state. He doesn't even know what a growth state is, an anabolic growth state. He doesn't know fuck all, bro. What he knows how to do is inject fucking molecules in his ass and create some fake shit and fake programs and fake 5x5 sucker programs and shit.
Okay, it kind of falls in line with that effective rep theory. You should feel that burn in the muscle. All right? So here's the thing. If we're not doing these things and we're not that close to failure, you're probably not stimulating any adaptation no matter what you feel. And if you're not seeing progressive overload present, the same thing, guys who are like, well, I'm doing this, and it's like, okay, but you're making progress on it, right? And that's usually the sign of guys who are wasting their time and they're not willing to put in any effort when they're focused only on the feel, but they're not putting in any real effort. Those sets aren't close to failure. Okay? They don't have any control of the weight on anything. And you can have controlled cheating, by the way. There's absolutely controlled cheating. Novice lifters have no business doing it, but it's a thing and it does work. I've liked to do it on rows and stuff in the past very effectively.
Okay.
But there's something wrong with what you're doing. Okay?
There's something wrong with what you're doing right away.
And the thing is, I've seen this firsthand. I've watched guys who do this and they focus on these things. Like some clients who I only had a short time because they were only going to hire me a short time and I needed to get them caught up. You get them on camera, and I had one who was doing exactly this. He was focused on these things, but his effort was minimal, and he was doing, say one-arm dumbbell rows, right? He was saying, oh, I can't get this many reps. I signed him away and told him to do all 3 sets and 3 reps in reserve. He would get like 12, 8, and then 7.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're not actually getting near failure.
Holy mackerel.
Made him train hard, and I told him to rep again and again and again. He got to 18 reps on the first set. Now, this is a guy who had been doing like 12, 8, and 7. Okay, now here's the kicker. I made him add weight because we went to do my gut weight's too light.
Blaha, what happens if you rep, let's say you do even a bench press. Let's say you bench press 315 pounds. Let's say you bench press 315 pounds 50 times. 50 times. Even if it's just once. What do you think is going to happen to your muscle after you rep 50 reps on a 315 pound bench press? What do you think is going to happen when you rep it out to about 50? Let's say even 40. You probably have never been to 40. You've never been there to that number. You've never reached that number. Let's say 40. I'm going to be nice for you. What do you think is going to happen to your muscle when you reach 40 on a 315 pound bench press that you have never done before? What do you think's gonna happen? What is gonna be that mind-muscle connection, man? Yeah.
I had him add 5 more kilograms to the dumbbell, and his 12 rep max that he couldn't even replicate for 12 certainly turned into 18.
Okay, so he added some more weight. Isn't that what most people do in the gym? They try to add more weight so they can get more adaptations. Yeah, they try to do that. The problem is they're not really doing enough. They're not doing enough. They're just not doing enough. Yeah, and very specific things. They're just not doing enough. That's all. There's not enough tension on the eccentric. That's why heavy cables, if you can do them in the gym, they can only go so heavy. But if you can grab and do some heavy machine cables, whatever, wow, you can eke out more adaptations. That's phenomenal, man. That's phenomenal.
With a heavier dumbbell for a longer range of motion. Okay, when I'm sitting here telling him again, another rep.
Okay.
And I think even on the final set, he ended up getting like 12 and then failing.
Okay, and what was the purpose of him lifting all that? What was he seeking? A mind-muscle connection or an adaptation? Which one is it? Adaptation or mind-muscle? Yeah, I don't know too many people that are interested in mind-muscle. They're more interested in getting an adaptation.
So the thing that the guys who are chasing this mind-muscle connection need to realize, you're probably not training that hard. Because if
Oh, they're not training that hard. Okay.
you're training hard and you were using correct form and you were pushing sets hard, the mind-muscle connection is going to happen automatically.
See, guys, if you just push it hard and do this and that, if you just work harder than last time, the mind-muscle connection is going to be there automatically. Yes, the mind-muscle. I guess people are chasing mind-muscle connections. I'm chasing adaptations. People are chasing mind-muscle connections. People are chasing being good at lifting sofas. Yeah, this is really interesting. People are chasing bulk diets. What else are they chasing out there? I don't know. Some other kind of weird shit. Some like weird nonsense. I don't know. Wasting time. It's crazy.
You're going to feel that intense pull, that intense contraction, or that intense burn.
Oh.
You are going to feel it on every single set. Okay? Every time.
You guys are going to feel it, but he's not feeling it, though. But you guys are going to feel it when you go to those reps. Yes.
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on.
Thank God for that, man. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Mind-muscle connection happens by default when training. When training correctly. Mind-muscle connection happens by default when training correctly. Man, I'm not looking for mind-muscle connections, but whatever. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.